Today, this is a really interesting conversation because most people do not know what their customer's journey is. And so I want to get you focused to think about what your customer's going through when they interact with your brand and you. But we're going to go a little deeper and we're going to dig into some different parts of that. But before we dig into that, one of the most critical pieces that you need to understand, I forgot I had that one more slide in there. When we talk about what the customer journey is. So at the end of each of these bullets, you'll see that's kind of the journey that your customer's going through. They have awareness about your brand somehow. They find you, they figure it out, they see something from you or they see it out there. Then they kind of have some interest. They get educated and consider doing business with you. Then they move into a point that like this could be, okay, they're intentional about how they want to interact with your brand. And then it gets to the point that they're ready to be committed. And then we get to the point that we get to ask for the order and close them and get the purchase. A lot of us just say, I have a great product, want to buy it. And you skip all the other different pieces that are in between that journey. So this is something that I didn't used to do until that last company I had where we had lots of customers. They were all over the country, but it was something we were forced to do. And that's to understand what your customer is worth to you over their lifetime. So you have to think about this in terms of you're going to make an investment of time, money, something to get a customer. Whether that's you personally, or you're going to pay for an ad, or you're going to do a mailer, or you're going to do something to interact and get a customer in the door. And you might just look at it and say, it's going to cost me this to do the mailer, and that's it. But what you really need to focus on is what that customer is going to be worth over the lifetime that they do business with you. So let's start easy. It's always easy to start with you. That a customer for Lisa over a lifetime might be worth $5,000. That might be the revenue that somebody over a lifetime spends with her because they've bought X number of cookies, they ordered a wedding cake, they ordered some different things for different products, and we know, and you just have to take time to figure this out. Your lifetime may be very different. You might have bigger cycles. And you've got a great business that fits in when we're going to talk about the value ladder and those different pieces. So when we talk about that value, it's not the value of the first sale, it's the value of what they're going to buy from you over the lifetime of them being your customer. Does anybody know the lifetime value of their customer today? Has anybody thought about that, figured it out? That you don't know.
I'm parroting a slide here and doing a poor job of it, but I never really understood the slide. But we have something that was given to us. It says something like the lifetime value is 3.5 times something or other. I couldn't get it.
It might be 3.5 times what you spent on that. It could be. There's a lot of different ways, and I've got some examples I'm going to help you wrap your kind of brains around it. So you've got kind of two parts of interacting with your customer when it comes to sales and marketing. I'm sure everybody's heard of sales funnels, right? It's that ability of having somebody here and they kind of move through as a prospect as you get them a quote and you move them through and you do that and they eventually buy something. The value ladder is kind of a funnel turned on its side, but it's made up of different points of things that you would buy. So the funnel takes everything from bringing your prospect into the top. Somebody that's a prospect, you don't know if they may be, some people start with a suspect. This is a list that you have bought. This is a list that you've gotten. This is a name of somebody you think might want to buy your product. And then I don't move them, to me, they're not a prospect until I know that's even qualified. But then to the point of moving them to a lead would be like, okay, they could buy from me versus you're selling a garage door. Sorry, my property, I've got 2 new garage doors. I just put them in and I bought a 10-year warranty. That's probably not a very strong lead for you, right? That's probably, I'm going to put it over here and I'll come back to you later. We'll talk about where we have options with stuff like that too. Then kind of bringing in from a lead, you're giving them a proposal. Again, going through that funnel as far as the proposal sent. They may get into some negotiation as far as going back and forth about what that looks like. And then at some point, you get to close it, and you either win it or you lose it. The value ladder works a little bit differently from a standpoint of you're going to move somebody through and up a ladder or up the steps, but as you do, you're giving them more value, but they're giving you more money. So when you get somebody that, a lot of people write books, right? You see all these people that are writing books, come in and sign up with me, and you'll get a copy of my book for free. That's something that might be considered a lead magnet, something that they're just trying to get you into their web. The book is the first one. Then after that, they're going to ask you to maybe come in to do a weekend class. Then after that, they're going to ask you to go into the 1 week retreat that's $10,000. Then after that, it's the one-on-one stuff that's going to be really expensive. Everybody's business has this value ladder. You could almost look at each one of those steps as having its own funnel in a lot of ways. So as you go up the ladder, typically people are paying more money, but then they're getting more value. Down at the bottom in that first step, it's free, so it's not a lot of money, and it's probably low value, but it's the ability to get somebody into that. All right, so a couple of examples. When we talk about that, we've got something comes in that's usually free. I'm sure all of us have traded our email for a free PDF. Yes, free, like, hey, give me a PDF on the 3 greatest things that'll help me be a better man, husband, wife, business owner, cookie maker, anything, right? So that's a lot of the piece as far as a lead in. And so when you're thinking about your businesses, we all have something that we can offer to somebody that, for you, Andy, you may be into something that we'll come out and look at your garage door all for free. We'll come and look at all your pieces and do this in up to 30 minutes for free to look at your mechanicals and look at all those things. You're trying to get them in to step into the business. If nothing comes out of that, that's fine. They get added to an email list, and you're going to just be touching them and trying to move them up that value ladder to give them more value, to collect more money to the point of you get to, and you will feel like that at some point in your own products in your business that it will top out. Like, I don't have anything else to sell. You have to get creative and figure out how to create other products that create value to people so you can sell them something else, because we don't all need a bunch of dead-end clients. We need clients that continue to grow and spend money with us. And one of the hardest things to do is to gain somebody's trust to do business with them. And once you've already gained their trust, it's typically very easy to go back to them and ask them to do business with you again. So when you look at something like a dentist, right? A dentist couldn't possibly have a value ladder, right? Well, yeah, I mean, look at this. You've got the teeth cleaning, right? They get you in and do the clean, and then it's like, hey, how about the $99 whitening? And then after that, we can do, you need a retainer because your teeth are crooked, or your kids need something, or one of those things. Something that's not here, that could be like a branch off that could work for any of your businesses, could be referral partners, could be a half step in a ladder. So in that scenario, you've got the dentist that's there, but he's not an orthodontist. And so he may refer your kids to an orthodontist, and he may be getting a referral fee back from there, and that's another way for you to monetize that trusted customer, and you move them through that value. They trust you. This is one that if you want to go study it and look through this, the .com secrets is a big one as far as this first one that's free is a quiz. Look on BridgeSpace's homepage right now, and there's a quiz that will show you, if you go through it, where you fit in best in BridgeSpace to help accelerate your success. Whether that's...
I was just going to say, if you go there, use my affiliate link, because then I'll get like 7 cents if you buy the book. Just want to let you guys know that. Thank you.
Before long, you're talking real money.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for that valuable input.
We can paste it on the next slide. If you want.
Yeah, I have it on there. So a free quiz. When we talked about those posts last week, about those 6 different posts, and one of those was like a question or a quiz type piece, you can have something that's a quiz that gets you feedback on different things related to your business that helps you gather data, but also gets somebody into that. But then the output of that quiz is giving them something value. It didn't cost much, so there's not a huge value to what they're getting out of it because it was probably free, right? It's stepping it up to the next one. And since you guys are in the business coaching piece, you can understand that there's a couple steps before somebody would come into this class, whether that's taking the quiz or a PDF about their business or doing that, and then they may be coming to the free education that we do here 5 times a month that people come in to do that. And when somebody's at a certain point in their business, it makes sense that they come into something like this. And as they elevate and get into the next part of their business, they would go into the mastermind programs. So those are just ways to move people through the value. Once you get to the mastermind program today, we don't have another offering. We'll get creative when we get to that point when that starts to get saturated, but everybody's got different ways that they can move people through that value ladder in their business. This is, and I want to make a point that Luckless in the top right corner here, I've got their website here because I pulled this off of their website. This has, and if you want to go look at it and get it in more detail, this is a great idea of like your marketing strategy in your business. This really sums it up. In the first one, when you talk about the foundational pieces, a lot of people don't take the time to figure out who their avatar or who their target customer is for their business from a marketing perspective by defining that person and really defining it. And what I mean by that is psychographic. What I mean is that demographic. Who is my customer? What are they buying? Where do they hang out? Who are they partnered with? So, trying to think about where your customers are already doing business, and can you partner with people like that is one reason why this is important. But understanding who your customer is, so then you can talk to them with the right conversation versus just blathering some marketing stuff that's maybe not relevant to them or specific to them. The other piece on the strategy and the value ladder is just all the pieces you build to create the customer journey. Once you have the customer journey defined and figured out, then you can pour all the efforts from a marketing, all the efforts from throwing money at it from a PPC or using Google AdWords, those type of things. That's once you've already defined it all. A lot of people want to skip that step and go straight to, I'm going to throw something up and put some ads in Facebook and keep my fingers crossed, and most of the time it doesn't work and people are dissatisfied because either they have a partner that doesn't know how to do it or they haven't put enough thought into who their customer is, what the pains of their customer are, what they're going through, and what those customers need. Welcome, sir. Handouts are right there.
Hi, David. Hi, David with Solution Solutions.
Who's 35 minutes late?
Still love you.
Welcome. So that's the middle piece of the floodgate, is really throwing your resources at it once you've done the first part. Then the last piece you see up here, these are lots of different examples that I'm sure some of you have used as far as different ideas, lead magnets, ways to get people into your brand, ways to attract people to them. So there's a lot of great ideas that are through here. But the lifetime value of your customer is critical to know because you have no idea how much money you should spend to acquire a customer if you don't know what that is. So what I mean is, can I spend $3 to get a customer, or can I spend $300, or can I spend $3,000? If I have a product that 80% of my customers are worth $10,000 in their lifetime, and that lifetime, we'll say, is 5 years, would it be okay for me to spend $2,500 to get those customers? It would if I could survive the cash flow. You say throw as much money as you can. And that's where you hear about people that are doing business with AdWords and in Facebook that they're testing, A/B, what's working, what's not. And then once they get it dialed in, it's throw money at it until it's exhausted. So knowing that lifetime is going to be a critical component of you knowing how you build it, how you're going to market it, how much money you're going to spend on that. And so this is going to be a really fun day today during the workshop. So during the workshop, I've got on the next slide as far as what we're going to do. But we're going to be working on outlining what the value ladder is for your business and any details at each one of those. So hopefully when you walk out of here today, you've got a really good outline as far as what your value ladder looks like, and you can work on this so we can get this jump started for you guys for implementing something like that. So we're going to start with creating an estimate of what your customer is worth over a period of time. And this is, you're going to do this on your own. We're not sharing with other people. It's to sit down. Don't make yourself crazy over this. This is like, just do some rough math. Okay, if I've got a customer and I can do this, and then the next year I can sell this, and then I've got this add-on product, and I've got this, and I can do this over a period of time. Just do some rough math. Work in averages. So you can say, okay, we don't know if the customer's worth $300 or $1,000 or $1,500 or $5,000 or whatever that is over a period of time. And pick a period of time. You don't have to go out 10 years. Pick a period of time of 2 years. Pick a period of time of 3 years. If you've got a long sales cycle, you got big products, you go shorter if you want. You want to say it's 12 months. A lot of people in this room have products that go way beyond 12 months as far as what they can do. So that's what we're going to do first. Once we have that number, that'll give us some guidelines. So we're going to identify a couple of steps in your, these are just ideas. So as we go up into the step, see if you can create 3 or 4 of them. See if you can create this, and you can make up the ones that are in the first couple steps if it's something you don't have, but you know it's something that you need, or something that you, and if you need help, we're going to walk around and we'll help you to put this together. But it's like, okay, Ben, I don't have any idea what my business is going to be to get somebody in the door. I don't have something I can give away for free. It doesn't have to be a total giveaway either. It can be a discount. It can be a one-time offering. It could be a consultation. It can be, it doesn't have to be something like an ebook or a PDF or those kinds of things.
And that's where you hear people talk about like a lost leader type product. Is what's something that even if you lose money on that initial offering is going to make you enough on the back end of their purchases that makes it worth having that in the very front. And every step of the value ladder, as long as you're valuable, meaning that they feel like they're getting more than they're paying for, they should keep going through the ladder. And I love that Ben's talking about this today, and I can't tell you that how important this is to think about, because most people don't do this. They try to start people in the middle and then wonder why they can't close a sale. If you start at your middle or highest product, where you haven't built the trust and rapport and results, that's a much harder sale. But if you've got a $39 intro framing offer type thing, or you've got a book that you can print and ship for the price of shipping, we call that self-liquidating. If you can do that and they get value out of it, as long as they get a little bit more than they paid for, they're always going to spend more money with you.
And when you're building these, again, if we go back to that first slide, if you lose money, lost leader, where I said spending $1 gets you to a customer that will spend 10 with you over a period of time, that's okay. Just look at the grocery stores. They're classic loss leader. Retail's classic loss leader, and there's a reason why things are on the end caps.
Yeah, like $1.99 blueberries.
That's right. What? $1.99 blueberries? Blueberries are usually $5 a quart, right? I'm going to go in there and do that. Then I'm going to get my milk, and I'm going to buy my beer, and I'm going to get this. And I walked out with 25 items when I went in for the blueberries, right? So that's a loss leader. Gas stations, gas is a loss leader. They want to sell you soda.
Yeah.
We've all got them. So it's okay to work backwards and lose money by giving something away, as long as you know and you've defined the value ladder and what your lifetime value of your customer is. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay. So then after that, once you don't try to expand each idea, start with the outline. Get these 3, 4, 5 different pieces in your ladder. Try to define them first, and then expand on each one of them so you're not focused on just the first one and trying to really nail it out. Then if we've got time, we'll review that with some of the people at the table, and we'll have a couple people come up from groups to talk about kind of what that looks like for everybody. Put thought into this. This is like really important. This is like one of the most important exercises that you've seen so far as what we can do to really walk away with something. And Austin and I have both done this a bunch of times. So if you feel like you're at a loss and you don't have anything, we'll be happy to step in to do that.
We could take some questions before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the ladder, so just for instance, I have a free PDF for them to put their email in on my website, like a pop-up. And then the next one would be like a free class, like coming here and me teaching a class. And then I want to eventually do like an online course. Is it okay in my ladder? I mean, some people are obviously going to skip different things because like my online course, if I did it on SEO or whatever, not everybody's going to even want to learn how to do it themselves. So it's okay for them to skip.
Some people will jump in the middle of this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about like, how do I define this experience? So then you can, if we go back to this, so that all the foundational piece, that's the first one, which is the stuff that's no fun. This is like the business performa, and then you get to create the logo, which is the fun part. So this part, you create this, so then you have the ability and you know how much you can spend on marketing to market your products, and it'll be okay that somebody's going to jump in the middle of this. That's not uncommon at all. But if you're saying, I'm going out to create leads that are brand new people that I've never done business with or that I'm not talking to, think, how do you create leverage that you're creating leads from people that you don't have conversations with? That's why you need to define it all the way through. So wherever they jump in on that ladder, you have a path for them to follow to continue to do business with you and spend money with you. Yeah. That's the whole point.
Well, and real quick, so like you look at the ladder here, what do you think is the cheapest place to buy customers for? Is here. You might be able to buy a customer for $1 here. That same customer to try to buy at your high ticket might be $500. So why not buy customers? If you're going to buy customers through ads, through whatever process you're using, you could buy them so cheaply here because the proposition is so low. And as long as there's value, they're going to keep going up. They're going to spend more to get more, spend more to get more. And if you try to buy your customers up here, of course, you can still have ROI up here. If you spend a lot more money to get the garage door or a high-ticket garage door, whatever that is, you're still going to make money on that. But if you can get people over here fast and easy and less expensive, once they're in, they're going to buy here, buy here, buy here, buy here, buy here, but you got them at that price, not at that price. Does that make sense? That's why knowing this process for your business, like Ben said, is so important because there's so much stuff you guys can be doing right now to build this pipeline here, and it's a lot cheaper. But if you don't know how much your customer's worth, it's hard to know what to spend to get them.
And don't get so stuck that what you're doing has to be online. It doesn't have to be with Facebook. It doesn't have to be with buying ads. This may make the decision that you want to advertise in the Catalyst Lee Summit Chamber magazine, and you're doing a half a page ad, and it costs you $500, and you have a unique link in there that you're monitoring to see if anything comes through that ad to know that here was a $500 ad and I made $1,000. Okay, that kind of makes sense to do that. So that's another avenue, but it's all about where you're spending your money to acquire new customers. You're going to do a booth at Downtown Days because you want to have out there to hand out pamphlets. Well, if you don't get any leads from it and you spent your whole weekend and you spent $500 for a booth and the printing and all the other things, you may decide that's not a good place to do that. But you at least know that if I can pick up one customer at that event, that it's worth $1,000, I'm probably willing to take that chance, measure the results. You have to measure results, and then I know whether or not that was worth us to do that. A lot of people go to the event and say, well, I don't know, I didn't get anything out of it. And a lot of times they don't have things set up to measure, to know where the lead came from, like asking every one of your customers, how did you hear about me? Where did you get my name?
Money now.
That's all right.
Always, man, always.
Google.
Well, and Ben shared a great example, and it's probably one of the examples I teach on the most, is the dentist. Who in here has ever gotten a free, what do they call it?
Consultation?
Consultation, checkup, cleaning. Cleaning, that's what I was thinking of. Who in here has ever got a free teeth cleaning deal in the mail? Or a $29, $39 teeth cleaning?
No, never.
Never once. That's actually how I found my last dentist, Dr. Shuey, who I love, by the way, Blue Springs 40 Highway. And
Use my affiliate link.
yeah. Use coupon code AJH2019. But seriously, I got like a $29. I just had it with my old dentist and got this thing. It was a $29 teeth cleaner. I was like, sure, I'll go try them. Went in at $29, had a great experience. And then, of course, they're like, well, hey, while you're here, we noticed you could do this. And I thought, man, I just had such a great experience for what I spent. Yeah, I would like to do that. So then I did that. Well, then my wife goes up there. Now they're seeing our kids. One of my kids will definitely need braces at some point. And so it's
that's a $15,000 to $20,000 customer for that dentist over a lifetime. They gave a $29 coupon that might have lost $30 on that.
Yeah.
It might not have lost $30 because of insurance.
Right.
But it just got you in the door. Does that make sense? Do you have a question?
Yeah, two brief ones even by my standards.
Wow.
Do we use sales or profit for the value, or is that up to us?
You're using profit.
Profit?
Yeah,
okay.
how much money you're going to make from that.
Okay. So gross profit.
I would, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's number 3? You've got some typos in number 3. What does that say?
Expand each idea, think, oh wow, yeah. What, that's Latin.
think of it.
Socrates.
Yeah, it's more about like think of an email to each one of those that's providing a value to the person. So it was more about trying to give you context of how you implement one of those ideas. So if you want to, in each one of those different ladder pieces, think about how you might address the customer to bring them into that piece. Because eventually where you're going with this, once you know what this looks like, and that's another class that we're going to do is, how are you implementing digital marketing and campaigns to where somebody gets into your value ladder at the first step, and now you're communicating with them electronically with automation to where you don't have to talk to them in every single email to keep them moving along in that value ladder so they're doing more business with you. Does that make sense?
And when you think about...
Thanks for bringing that up. Sorry.
Yeah, and when you think about this stuff ahead of time, you can start to plan out in advance. You're kind of carving a path for them that they're going to follow in your business. If you think about this stuff in advance, you're going to know, okay, typically, here's what they're going to do next with me. So you can start to talk about that early. You can start to slip in those ideas and those little cues early in their process with you. If you know your normal customer is going to end up purchasing X, Y, and Z, then you can kind of lighthouse them to that decision because you know that customer so well. You know those people so well. Brian, for you, surely when someone comes in and does a free consult about, let's just say it's protecting their business in some way, shape, or form, he's going to know more than likely if I do a great job as their attorney, that if I bring up down the road that they need X, Y, and Z, they're probably going to buy it from me. So he can start to just hint at that ahead of time to start to plant those seeds because he knows those people so well. He knows, like Trisha, same thing. When she's building a website, she's going to know, well, down the road, they're going to want to maybe optimize the website. Maybe they're going to want ads. Maybe they're going to want, all kinds of stuff and start to almost subtly plant those ideas early in the process. But you got to know that. You got to know what that journey looks like before they start buying from you so you don't goof up and miss it, the biggest, most high margin opportunity they have with you. So, and all of your businesses in here have this. So if you struggle with seeing that and putting it on paper, holler at one of us and we'll come by here in the workshop and help you fill in the blanks.
Hey, one quick thing. There can be a point in your ladder or think about from a cost of acquisition for a customer, that can be somebody referring business to you that you're paying a fee. Somebody refers business to your company and you give them 20% or 10% or some kind of percentage as a revenue share. Again, that's another, once you have this foundational piece put together and you have everything defined, when you turn on the faucet, whether that's ads, don't overlook referral partners. That's really strong for people to, Brian would refer somebody to me in a second because he knows me and trusts me, and it's no big deal. And I feel great about giving him a referral fee for helping me out because And if my customer's worth $1,000 a year and I pay Brian $200 as a referral fee, it's great for Brian. He did his customer a favor, and that's a low cost of acquisition that I know that I can make money off that customer. But I don't know that I can pay Brian $200 unless I've defined what my lifetime value of my customer is. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, you should be at the point that you've got somewhat of an outline put together, and now it's time to start expanding on how you might communicate. If you were going to think about, keep it simple, if you were going to email somebody in each one of these steps, what would you say? What would you say? Don't worry about making yourself too crazy. This stuff isn't going to all fit together, or you don't have every step. Just define those, and now it's like, what would I say to somebody that was in that third step that I've already done business with, they're already there, or they've already moved them through some of that value ladder? What's that conversation look like? Don't go crazy. We're just trying to get some ideas that you might build some marketing material around at those particular steps, or how if it makes you feel more comfortable, what would be the phone call you'd have